Hello, my name is Matthew Eckelberg, and this is my PowerPoint video submission for assignment 1.3 Big Data, an assignment a part of the course Enterprise Data Management, a part of the Business Intelligence Master's Degree Program at Full Sail University. What is the purpose of this assignment? Well, to explain and illustrate dimensional modeling techniques, describe major components of the dimensional modeling process, and to identify the role of each component in the dimensional modeling process. I will then tie together how those things all relate to a company of my choosing. The company that I've chosen is Tencent Holdings. They are a Chinese company conducting services worldwide, number 74 on the Forbes Global 2000 list. They are an investment holdings company. They conduct business such as internet and mobile value-added services, online advertising, and e-commerce transactions. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, big data and its challenges, insights and my background in big data and warehouse architecture, best practices in big data for Tencent Holdings, enforcing data governance and data integrity, Kimball's dimensional modeling, and then wrap up with a summary. Before I get started, I do want to say thank you for taking the time to sit and listen to this presentation. I appreciate it. So let's take a look at big data and its challenges. In this picture, we have the business intelligence architecture laid out. As you can see, there's a variety of information sources, operational databases, and external sources that all of our raw, unstructured data is coming from. Before it enters our data warehouse, it has to go through the ETL process, extract, transform, load. Your ETL developers are going to take care of this. They're going to take all of that raw data, sanitize it, make it usable, remove duplications, etc. At that point, it'll move from the data warehouse to the OLAP servers, and then to the clients, where it can be then used for insight creation and data analysis by the BI professionals, the analyst. Some of the challenges that are associated with this process of this big data is just the vast amount of raw data. As you can see, there's multiple sources, and it's all different types. Some of it could be structured, some of it's unstructured, some of it could be fact-based, SQL-based, JSON, XML. There's a lot of data out there. The growth and the speed is very hard to keep up with, and most of the time in business intelligence, we need real-time insights in order to create anything worthwhile. Validating the data, that is something that would take place in the ETL process. Securing the data. This is something that sometimes gets overlooked, but the security of this data is also very important. And sometimes you'll run into organizational resistance. Sometimes people don't like change, and if we've been doing things a certain way for a while, they may be reluctant to new solutions. And of course, this kind of ties into securing data, but compliance. Especially with Tencent dealing with worldwide services, they have to take things into consideration like Europe's GDPR compliance and regulations. If you're dealing with any sort of payments, which they are, you need to keep in mind PCI and so on. So let's take a look at insights and my background in big data and warehouse architecture. I have a limited semi-related background. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in cloud technologies from Full Sail University. That's me in the picture there in the front. During this degree program, we learned about databases, relational and non-relational. I was able to touch things like SQL, NoSQL, MS SQL, and MongoDB were some of the ones that I touched primarily for some databases. We also created ER diagrams and relationships with these random data sets that we were given. I conducted several normalization of these data sets, cleaning, sanitizing, things like that, to make it usable and readable. And we also went over multiple big data concepts. So I am much more familiar on the big data aspect and a little bit on the warehouse architecture, but not so much. That is something that I'm currently learning in this degree program. However, I'm not completely foreign to databases, relationships, sanitizing of data, things of that nature. So taking a look at the best practices in big data for Tencent Holdings. This image right here is kind of a quick 5-step best practice that I found that I thought kind of tied it together nicely. But in summary, first things first, you need to define the business goal. This needs to be a crystal clear goal that we clearly understand what it is we are trying to achieve from this BI solution and or big data project. It is a business goal, not a technology goal. Therefore, it must be management driven, not IT driven, because IT does have a bad habit, and I can speak personally, of focusing on the next shiny thing and not drilling the team forward towards that business-centric goal. Assess and strategize with partners. I think this ties, or this relates greatly to Tencent Holdings, due to the fact that they are a investment holding company, so they are enormous. The amount of stakeholders and the different businesses at stake is very large, and it's crucial that you continue to assess and strategize with your partners what it is that you're doing. Not only something else to keep in mind with this bullet point is a lot of times BI solutions or BI work gets pawned off to the IT team, which is great because, they are the technology department, so they will be implementing all this stuff and taking care of it. However, it is not an IT-centric project, and there should be multiple champions from each department involved in this process to ensure that the data is accurate. So people such as data owners and management, stakeholders, marketing, the users, all need to be involved with this big data project. Oh, got a little bit ahead of myself, but more or less the same thing. And finally, another best practice would be Kimball's dimensional modeling, but we will talk more about that later. All right, enforcing data governance and data integrity. This is a pretty quick slide. As I already mentioned, if you are dealing with any business in Europe, just like Tencent is, you will want to keep GDPR in mind. But as long as you follow best practices, as we already discussed, such as having a solid plan, knowing what your business goals are, and communicating with everyone across the board, all from the get-go, and prioritizing these things from the beginning, this shouldn't be an issue that you run into down the line. It just all comes down to planning, goals, ensuring that it's management-driven, not technology-driven, and just make sure that the ETL team is sanitizing that data properly as far as data integrity. We want accurate, clean, quality data, and that's something that they should all understand and comply with. Moving on to Kimball's dimensional modeling, I have a picture of a star schema template right here with a fact table, multiple dimension tables, all the dimension tables ranging from that one fact table. So how do we design one of these? Well, step 1, select the business process, correct? Step 2, declare the grain. What level of granularity do we want in this data set? 3, identify the dimensions. What exactly are we going to derive from these facts? Because facts on their own do not necessarily tell a story. We need dimensions. We need context. So what are we trying to get? What are we trying to identify? And then finally, identify the facts with the star schema. Some of the things that Tencent could benefit from using this model would be finding out what games, features, marketing tactics work across different regions. This would employ them to make data-driven decisions and ultimately increase their revenue. All right, so what did we talk about today? Well, we went over what is big data and the challenges surrounding it, big data and warehouse architecture knowledge and background, Tencent Holdings best practices in big data, how to enforce data governance and data integrity, Tencent Holdings and Kimball's dimensional modeling. And once again, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.